When most people hear the word discipline, they think of restriction, rules, structure, or limitation. But in truth, discipline is the opposite of confinement. Discipline is freedom. It's the quiet force that liberates you from chaos, distraction, or regret. And while the world tells you that freedom means doing whatever you want, real freedom, true freedom, the kind that lasts, comes from the self-control to do what you should. I'm Isaac, and today on the Standards of Excellence podcast, we're exploring how discipline quietly builds freedom, and why the most fulfilled, successful people you know are often the most disciplined ones. We live in a culture that glorifies instant gratification. We're told that freedom means saying yes to every desire, every craving, every impulse. But that's not freedom, that's dependency. When you can't say no to distractions, you're not free. When you can't control your habits, they control you. And when you can't lead yourself, you let the world lead you. Discipline isn't a cage, it's a compass. It gives you direction when emotion pulls you off course. It gives you structure when chaos tempts you to drift. And it gives you peace because you know exactly who's in control. The truth is, there's no lasting freedom without the framework that discipline creates. Let me tell you a story of this principle applied. Two artists dreamed of painting a masterpiece. The first waited for inspiration, painting only when motivation struck. Some days he worked, but most days he didn't. The second built a routine, waking up every morning at sunrise to paint, whether inspired or not. Years later, the first artist had a few scattered paintings. The second had hundreds, and eventually, one of those became a masterpiece. Why? Because discipline built consistency, and consistency unlocked creativity. The first artist believed freedom meant painting whenever he felt like it. The second understood freedom meant becoming the kind of person who could create on command. That's the paradox. Structure doesn't stifle creativity, it protects it. Freedom lives inside the boundaries that discipline builds. We often choose freedom as the ability to do anything, but true freedom is the ability to choose wisely, to act with a purpose, not impulse. A person without discipline might look free, but they're really a prisoner of comfort. They're trapped by procrastination, emotion, and distractions. But a disciplined person, they're not ruled by moods. They've learned to act independent of emotions. They're free to focus, to create, to lead, and to rest without guilt because they've earned it. Discipline is the path through which freedom matures. Without it, freedom collapses into chaos. With it, freedom expands into purpose. And that's what the disciplined understand. Discipline isn't about controlling your day. It's about mastering yourself. So what does discipline really look like in practice? It's not perfection. It's direction. Here's a simple framework. Number 1, define your non-negotiables. Pick a small handful of things that you do every day, no excuses. That might be exercise, journaling, reading, reflection, whatever matters most to you. Those are the anchors that shape your rhythm. Number 2, create friction against failure. If you struggle to wake up early, put your alarm across the room. If you want to eat healthy, remove junk food from your house. Make discipline easy and failure inconvenient. Number 3, schedule freedom throughout structure. Ironically, the most disciplined people have the most freedom because they plan for it. When you schedule rest, play, and reflection, you enjoy them fully, guilt-free, because you've already done the work that earns it. That's the beauty of discipline. It multiplies the freedom and quality of your time. Here's the part most people overlook. Discipline doesn't give you the control over your schedule. It gives you control over your mind. Every time you honor a commitment, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted, and that trust creates peace. No more guilt, no more anxiety about what you should be doing. Discipline clears the mental clutter that comes from chaos and indecision. When your actions align with your values, you stop fighting yourself. And that inner alignment, that sense of I'm doing what I was meant to do, that is freedom. Discipline removes the noise, the hesitation, the regret, and replaces it with confidence, stability, and peace. Because when you master yourself, the world can't master you. Freedom without discipline is like a ship without a rudder. It might drift beautifully, but it's going nowhere. That's why people who chase freedom without rules eventually lose both. They trade long-term joy for short-term pleasure and end up wondering why they feel so lost. Discipline doesn't remove spontaneity, it protects it. It gives you the foundation to live freely because you've earned the right to do so. You can't enjoy rest unless you've worked hard. You can't value time unless you've disciplined it. And you can't sustain freedom unless you've built the habits that maintain it. Freedom without discipline is chaos, but discipline without freedom is tyranny. The balance, the excellence, lies in letting one feed the other. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about having the power to do what's right, even when you don't feel like it. So today, choose one area of your life to bring under discipline, not as a punishment, but as empowerment. Because when you master your habits, you master your life. And that is freedom. Thanks for listening to the Standards of Excellence podcast. If today's message resonated with you at all, share it with someone who believes discipline is a burden, and remind them it's actually the doorway to peace. Until next time, pursue excellence, strive for freedom, and make today matter. That wraps up week 1 of our series on Discipline is Freedom. Join us tomorrow as we dive into week 2, Mastering the Self. We'll see you there.